Wi-Fi issues. We were just on the phone. So he's going to try his best.
Thank you.
He's a little
And
stressed.
now it's ready as backup if we need it.
Okay.
I'm not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down at dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words gonna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me, look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me, oh, 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 oh. Another round of bullets hit my skin. We'll fly away, 'cause today I won't let the shame sink in. We are bursting through the barricades and reach upon us, and we are warriors. Oh, that's what we become. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me, look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me.
Hi, I'm Amy Stolarsky.
And I'm Amy Gorzynski.
We want to welcome you to our first ever virtual collab exhibition. This year has been unpredictable, but one thing has been steady and consistent, and that's the resilience of our students. Most have never stepped foot into a high school classroom, yet their work shows the maturity and sophistication of high school scholars. We are so proud of all the hard work and creativity these students have put into their work, and we really hope you enjoy the Collab Identity Exhibition 2020 style. I'm going to turn over the mic to Yami, who will let you know a little bit about our identity journey.
Hi, I'm Yamla Garcia Gaona. Thank you for coming to our exhibition. While school doesn't look the way we're used to, under these extraordinary circumstances, we've learned the digital skills necessary to create virtual displays to present our work, a transferable and valuable skill in our new world. While you get to see the finished products, the teachers got to see the struggle, the resubmissions, the re-resubmissions, and the progress we made on skills like summarizing, writing claim, evidence and reasoning, making models, design principles, style choice, and more.
Hi, I'm Avian Duban, and today we will share with you original poetry and family recipes and take you on a tour of the different Latin communities. All of our projects allowed us to discover our identity. We learned that not only do our circumstances and choices shape our identity, but our identity shapes the way we perceive the world. We will start with our special recipes.
Hello everyone, I'm Diana Getchell. Welcome to our Collab Cafe. Have you ever heard the saying, you are what you eat? It's true in so many ways. Figuratively speaking, it's the memories we make while preparing, cooking, smelling, and tasting the foods. Literally, our foods provide the building blocks to make more of us, more of ourselves. In this health and biology unit, we explored our identity through our food choices. By recreating family recipes, we had the chance to spend time and reminisce about our loved ones and our cultures. We affect our health by the food choices we make. By learning how the building blocks of foods are broken down and recycled in the body, we began to understand why some food choices are significantly better than others. So together we wrote a cookbook which tells our story of the dishes we chose while also learning how to substitute less desirable foods for more nutritious ingredients. We hope you enjoy hearing about our special recipes.
Hi again. I'll be talking about my recipe, huevos con tortilla, which is just eggs with tortilla. I chose this recipe because it was the very first thing my mom taught me how to make. This recipe reminds me of all the times I would help my mom cook when she was busy doing something else. To make my recipe healthier, I decided to reduce the amount of sodium I put in it because too much sodium can cause a high blood pressure, which can cause heart failure. Now, I would like to pass the mic to Diana.
My favorite food is my grandma's banitsa. It's a priority to have this on the table for every family gathering. My favorite part of this project was talking to my grandma about the significance this food has in our culture. To make my recipe healthier, I decided to reduce the butter since butter has lots of fats that can cause you to have health issues later on, like weight gain. Up next is Karam with their recipe.
Hi, my name is Karam Haddad. The title of my dish is uzi. It is one of the more well-known Arabic dishes and it mainly consists of rice, ground beef, and vegetables. I chose this recipe because it is one of my favorite foods. My favorite part of this project was being able to connect one of my favorite foods to my culture and family. The first time I ate this dish, it was like a trip to a different world. To make the dish healthier, instead of using vegetable oil, I could use olive oil, which reduces cholesterol levels and is overall healthier. And now I'm going to pass the mic to Sarah.
Thank you, Karam. That Uzi sounds delicious. Hello, I am Sarah Negron. Those recipes sound awesome. When we were working on the cookbook, we read a lot of poems about food and culture and identity. Now more than ever, people are using their voice to understand, to accept, and to celebrate who they are. Poems can be a powerful tool for expression and activism. We read and listened to poetry from a diverse group of authors, and we used their poems as inspiration to draft our own. We experimented with techniques they use. The more we practiced writing, the more we started to recognize techniques like parallel structure. Then each of us selected one draft to revise and publish. Today, you will hear a few original poems that reveal a piece of who we are. I would like to share my poem with you to start us off. I read I Remember by Joe Bernard, and that inspired me to write this poem. This is what I chose to do. What I Chose to Do by Sarah Negron. Those words that they said stuck into my head. I had words in my mind that weren't mine. I looked at myself thinking ugly and worthless, but I forgot what truly matters, what I held closest. Yeah, I wrote that, but did I truly remember? Did I remember being scared of the dark or being made fun of? Did I really try to say I overcame that? I'm writing because their words are still in my head. But hey, do you remember me trying to fight? Do you remember the flow of water from my eyes? Do you remember the picture on my face? Do you remember the blood from my soul pouring out from my mouth? It was like I needed Advil for my thoughts or an ice pack for my heart. I hope you remember. I hope you remember how you put me in the dark. I hope you remember how you put me in both of my biggest fears. Because if you don't, what do you remember? What did you want to accomplish? Well, I know what I chose to do. I chose to forgive. I chose to let go. And I chose to move on. So thank you for showing me I am strong. Thank you for making me stronger. Next up is Isabel.
All right, thank you. Hi, I'm Isabel. I wrote about 5 drafts before this poem was final. It's titled, But My Name is Who I Am. My name? Isabel. Obviously, there's a story behind it. It doesn't matter. I had no say. I wasn't even born yet. What if I desired a different name? Other people use my name more than I use my name. Other people have my name, or our name. What makes mine any more or less special than theirs? My family's kind of like a parrot. Always calls me by the same nicknames, but never my birth name. For the first few years of my life, my grandma didn't know my name was Isabel. She mainly called me Percy. My middle name is Persephone. They all have different nicknames for me, which consist of Izzy, Belle, Percy, Monkey, Sunshine. And as time went on, terms of endearments came and went. My mom hated my name for an extensive period of time, refused to call me by it. She doesn't call me by my name now, but she likes it since it's me. The name Isabel means my God is an oath in Hebrew and beautiful in French. In Latin, it means my God is bountiful. All these different meanings of what I'm supposed to be. I don't live up to others' expectations, just what personally I want to be. I can't say I love my name, but my name is who I am. When someone refers to me, they say Isabel, not anything else. I've learned to embrace it and accept it. And here's Tracy.
Hi, my name is JC Esteves, and I wrote this poem because I wanted to share some stories from growing up, and my poem is titled My Childhood. Hi, my poem is titled My Childhood. I remember being younger than I am now, playing in the park, and listening to the swing squeak. I felt like I was Superman swinging very high. I remember my mom loving the smell of fall, as she still does, so I knew it was that time of year by the decorations. It was time for scary Halloween movies. I remember I would always be so scared, but now it's nothing. It's the season. I remember going to the carnival like it was the most anxious thing ever. Kind of like when you see a video of somebody getting a rush of life jumping off heights. That sensation you get in your stomach from watching that video. Yeah, just like that's how I remember feeling as my family and I went to a carnival. I remember always wanting to be with my grandma. It was just the smell and comfort of her love and touch. It's boring there now. But the smell remains the same, just like how scents and smells can bring back so many memories of just a few years ago. I remember having trouble tying my shoes when they needed to be tied. I would pretend I knew it by stuffing the laces in my shoe, but then as I kept doing it, it became annoying. I remember I kept practicing and practicing till when my family called Bugs Bunny ears were perfect. And next up, you hear from Yami.
That was a very nice poem, JC. I learned that poetry is a type of way to express myself in a way I find artistic and beautiful. This is time. Hi, I'm Yamlet Garcia Gaona. I'm 14 years old, birthday is June 30th. I'm a Cancer. That's pretty much it about me. Nothing else is interesting. I mean, there's more to touch on, but I wouldn't want to bore you. Actually, I don't think I have enough time to tell you. Time is a funny thing. If I could freeze time to tell you, we'd be here forever. I'll still tell you, just keep up with me, yeah? That one time in 7th grade, Washington, D.C. trip. No is no. Okay, Mom, try asking again. I have a Hispanic mom. No is no. She needs big you-know-whats to be pretty. Small waist, too. No las escuchas. I try, Mom. I try. You'll never be pretty if you don't listen to the boys. I listen to them, but where did that get me? Underweight, self-conscious, incapable of loving myself for not being as pretty and skinny like Barbie. And there I am again, stuck in that time, not in the present, but in the past, back to being 4. I'm in the car, a bad feeling in my stomach, everyone around me crying. I knew I should have stayed home. I never really forget you, do I? I think back to that time where I'm 4 again. Innocent and pure like a white rose, never worried about my appearance, never worried about pleasing people, never worried about boys, never worried about the world. Just me and my small bubble. I've got to stop thinking of the past. It's a bad habit, I must admit, but I can't help it. I miss it. The happy days. Oh no, I'm running out of time. Time, it's a funny thing, right? Time has always fascinated me. When is it going to be over? Is it over? Am I done? Am I even alive? Is my time up? Did I tell you enough? Did I tell you too much? That's the thing. You never know with time. Time involves the future too. Where am I going to be? Living in a city, in a suburb, or even dead? Admit it, you wonder when and how. Once again, time only knows. I trust time. It controls most of my life. I let it, but not you. I'm done letting you control my life. Telling me I'm below standards, telling me I'm not girly enough, telling me I'm not pretty like a sunset, nor skinny like a twig, telling me I'm not flawless, telling me I'm not perfect. I'm happy to say I'm done. Hi, I'm Yamlet Garcia Gaona. I'm 14, birthday's June 30th, I'm a Cancer. Did I waste your time? I'll pass the mic to Katie.
Great poem, Yamilet. Hi, I'm Katie Silva. Welcome to our virtual tour of the lighting community. Over the last few weeks, we collaborated with our classmates and community leaders to construct an interactive map of the lighting area that not only highlights important places and resources, but reflects our individual and community identities. We brainstormed lists of businesses, natural resources, community centers, and other assets that improve the quality of our lives. We determined which resources make our communities unique and special, and researched each one's significance. Then we met with the local mayors to hear their perspective. We learned that our neighborhoods not only play a key role in shaping who we are, but also key roles in shaping industry around the world. There are not many high school students who get to meet with local mayors to discuss their community and what is important to them. Their insight was crucial to creating a comprehensive map of our community assets. We would like to share some of those places with you now. Our first stop is Franklin Park. I moved to Franklin Park when I was 12 years old, and the community asset I've been researching is Grandstand Pizza. Grandstand Pizza is important to our community because they provide our community with amazing pizza and job opportunities. Since being opened in 1982, Grandstand Pizza has the best customer service and pizza. It is easily accessible because it is located just 30 minutes east from Chicago and has won an award for having Chicagoland's best thin crust pizza. Upon arrival, its humorous statue that stands right outside their doors draws attention and brings in customers. Their purpose is to serve genuine Chicago-style pizza and an Italian cuisine experience. My favorite part about this project was the research because I learned things about Grandstand that I didn't know before. For example, I never knew that Grandstand has been around for almost 40 years. Now I will play an audio clip to get some background information on Grandstand. Grandstand Pizza is an exciting, innovative, and efficient restaurant located in Franklin Park, Illinois. When you try their pizza, it is clear that it is served with love, and I will assure you that it tastes amazing. They have received numerous rewards for having Chicago's best thin crust pizza and have great reviews compared to other businesses. They're keeping their restaurants open during the pandemic and offering takeout and delivery services, and have helped the community slow the spread of COVID-19. Grandstand Pizza. All right, now on to Patrick with River Grove.
Hi, my name is Patrick Giza. I was born in River Grove. My community asset is Richie's Fresh Market. Richie's Fresh Market provides a wide variety of products to satisfy its customers, with options such as fresh produce, a hot food buffet, an international food selection, fresh squeezed juices, a sushi bar, a pizza oven, and a bakery, where customers can make their own bread and other goods. Richie's Fresh Market brings in tons of customers year-round. My favorite part of this project was making the caption because I got to research about a fresh market that I live very close to, and also because the asset is in my hometown. Now I'll share a little sound clip. When I walked down the international food aisle at Richie's Fresh Market, I stopped to look at all the different flags hanging from the shelves. For someone whose parents came here from another country, seeing all the different cultures represented makes me feel welcomed and gives me a sense of comfort. I love going to Richie's because the variety of food is very unique and I feel like I belong when I'm there. And the next stop is Rosemount.
Hi, my name is Isabella and I was raised in River Grove but did my research on Rosemont. Parkway Bank Park is located near Impact Field and 2 blocks down from Donald E. Stevens Convention Center and has 14 venues. Whether it's hanging out at Sugar Factory, going bowling at King's, to watching a movie at AMC, there's always something that brings a smile to everyone's face. My favorite part of the community asset was to hear how everyone's asset they chose was important to them. Even though I might not be a part of the Rosemont community, I felt like I was a part of it when they were expressing how important it was. Now we're going to play a little soundbite.
When I think of Parkway Bank Park, I think of families and friends coming together and having a fun time. The park has 14 venues that scatter through a category of comedy, state-of-the-art film, food, live music, indoor skydiving, and more. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, some things aren't open right now for some people that they would usually do this holiday season. But the park is still keeping the yearly ice skating going this year. Of course, the precautions still apply. For more information, you can go to the Rosemont website.
Thank you to our CoLab parents, guardians, school board members, administration, and invited guests for attending our first remote exhibition. It means a lot to us to have a real audience for our work. We know you're busy, and we really appreciate the time you spent with us today to share and celebrate our work.
You only saw a select sample of the artifacts created for exposition. To see the complete recipe cookbook, collection of poem performances, and full light and area map, please visit the CoLab website. We hope you find time to explore our work. Here's a link to our website. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you to the guests who joined us today. We dropped a link in the chat to our website, and Ms. Gorzynski is going to kind of walk us through that in a moment. And if you are busy and have a full schedule, we appreciate you being with us, and we're so glad that you were here today, so thank you. If you have a little bit of extra time and you have some questions for our classmates, they are here and ready and able to answer questions. If you want to unmute yourself and ask a question about their products or about the process, or if you wanted to write a question in the chat, we can moderate that and they can answer questions for you. I'm going to pass the mic over to Ms. Gorzynski first, though, before you leave, so she can show you our website and show you where to find the rest of the artifacts.
Thank you, Ms. Stolarsky. So while Ms. Stolarsky gets to the website, the link that she put in the chat will take you to the main page for our identity unit. And then you have to click on one of those arrows. The arrow to the right will get you to the 2020 exhibition page, and you'll see an icon or an image that represents each one of the artifacts. So the picture of the cookbook is linked to our Google slideshow with all of the students' recipes. the original poems is linked to our Flipgrid. So the videos that some of the students recited live, but others played their video, and there's a collection of those poems on our Flipgrid. You just have to log in with either a Gmail account or a Microsoft account, or create an account with another email, and you can access all of those videos. And then lastly, our community map. And I know, as JC said, we only saw a handful of artifacts from each category, but those links will take you to the whole set. I wanted to give a special shout out. The mayor of Schiller Park is here today. So thank you, Mayor Kayafa, for joining us. The students had an opportunity to sit down with the mayors of our local communities, and actually Scott Bernanke, the village planner of Schiller Park. And so I know all of those community assets were not highlighted today, but if you go to that map, you'll be able to see the assets that the students researched from all 4 of our local communities. So if anybody, like Ms. Stolarsky said, if you have any questions about the work that the students created or the process, please feel free to ask away or put it in the chat. And thank you again for joining us.
It looks like Mr. Rossi asked a question in the chat. Maybe we can start there, and then I'll throw a question out after that. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Manola. So students, and actually everybody in here wrote a poem, even if they didn't present their poem today. So the question for Mr. Rossi is, for all of the poets who did a lot of drafts, what's the best part or the worst part of reworking those drafts? It's like many times students don't like to revise. So did anybody in here find that they enjoyed the revision process? Is any student willing to unmute themselves and answer Mr. Rossi's question?
Go ahead, Yami. You don't have to raise your hand. Just take it away.
Okay, so for me, I had a completely different poem before I finished with time. I had to make a lot of revisions to time because sometimes it didn't make sense with all the ideas I had. And one of the worst parts was that I came up with that idea a little late. So I asked Mr. Stolarsky for more time on it. And I enjoyed revising it because, it made it more better. And I like what I came up with at the end with all the revisions.
Thank you, Yami. Does another student want to answer that same question for Mr. Rossi?
I can.
Thanks, Evian.
Well, I didn't present my poem today, but for my poem, it was very emotional for me. And it was very close to my heart, and I did have to make some revisions to make it better. And thank you to the wonderful teachers of CoLab for helping us making those revisions and for allowing us to make the revisions for this exhibition today.
We didn't plant that, Mr. Rossi. Thanks, Evian.
Can I comment on the revision process really quickly as
Sure.
a non-English teacher in the room? The students broke out into different spaces with each of the CoLab teachers and we call them crew, so a group of students, and they shared their poems. So Yami specifically is in my crew, and she shared her poem, and this was the first draft. So the thing I love about the revision process, and even though Yami will admit the poem she started with and the one she ended with are very different, her first go round, when she recited her poem in front of her classmates, the comments in the chat were basically just whoa, period. People were floored. And so I love the revision process in the writing and in the rehearsing and the recording and the presenting or reciting, because letting the kids hear their own voice and see their classmates react to it is very powerful. And so it has helped to build so much community and culture in our classroom. And I hope has given them the courage to continue to put themselves out there, because it's just been an amazing transformation.
Thanks, Ms. Gorzynski. JC, do you want to close out this question for us, and then we'll move to Dr. Manola's question? JC, do you give us your honest answer? Did you find revisions frustrating, or was there anything you enjoyed about the revision process for you when you were writing your poem?
I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it was okay. But yeah, I had to read it a few times before I just finished my poem. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
Go ahead, Mr. Manola. Dr. Manola, sorry.
So no, it's okay. So it's very similar to what Mr. Rossi was saying, but I guess the question I have, whether it was the cookbook or the recipe or the poems or the map, what did you find really exciting and what did you find frustrating? So similarly, but a little bit different. Like, what did you really enjoy about this, but what also maybe was less enjoyable and frustrating along the way?
And can I just add to that, students, just so you're thinking about the whole picture, everything that we did leading up to these artifacts counts. So if there's, a particular day or experience or something that isn't necessarily right here in your poem or on the map, but something else that we did that relates, you can certainly talk about that.
For sure. And while I'll never be nearly as great of a teacher as your teachers are, when you plan lessons and you are coming up with things or things you really are excited about, then things that frustrate you. And I know as you are all designing your exhibitions, it would be similar. So I'd love just to hear about those things.
Somebody who hasn't answered a question yet, want to start us off with that? What was something that was exciting or fun or frustrating along the way? Go for it, Sarah.
So something that was, I guess, exciting was that we came from a point where we were just starting off, for example, with the poems. We were just looking at other authors, and it was kind of like, when are we going to finish this? And like, I want to finish this. I want to see the outcome. I want to see how far we come from making all our revisions, from practicing. And that was something really exciting to finally get to this point to present and everything like that. And something frustrating was when you really, really like have a passion for something like cooking or poetry, and you can't present all of that. You can't present all of your artifacts, but I was still grateful to present one of them at least, and something I was proud of. So I hope that answers the question.
It's great. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sarah. We can pass the mic to any other student who's able to answer Dr. Manola's question. Isabel L., will you answer his question?
All right. Something exciting for me was I liked doing the poems. The poem was probably my favorite. Getting it done was definitely exciting, like Sarah said. Like, we took a lot of time on each one of them, and I think every student did an amazing job, at least on one of them. And what we presented today was like pretty awesome, I'm not gonna lie. But it was frustrating for me. It wasn't frustrating, but more stressful to keep doing the revisions like 5 times, 6 times for the poem, or like 5 times, 6 times for everything else. But I got it where I wanted it to be, and I got it where I was confident enough to present it. So I think that was good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Evian, did you raise your hand?
Yes, her hand is raised. Go for it, Evian.
So for one of the projects for the community map, I was working on District 84 because that was the asset I had. And something I found frustrating was that when we were like getting ready to like create our final product, we had to make some revisions that were making me frustrated because one of the things that we had to talk about was what makes our community asset special. And I was lucky to work with a partner. And when we had found something that we had thought was special to District 84, and we were told that it doesn't really it's not really, what's the word? It's not important. Like, it's not as important as other facts would be. So I found that a little frustrating, but it's like, it was what was best, like to make our final product like the best it could be.
Awesome. Well, what you all
It's
do.
really hard to take constructive criticism, but
It is, and for adults it's hard. But watching you guys,
Yes.
it's inspiring what you do. So thank you.
Can I add one thing to Evian's? I'm admitting my mother into this room right now. Of course, exhibition is over, and here she is. Just to add a little bit of the background to Evian's community asset, District 84. Hi, Mom. We can all see you walking through the kitchen or the basement. So Evian and her partner, and she did have a great partner, and I love that she gave him a shout out. They interviewed the superintendent of District 84. So although the process maybe was frustrating, overall, the outcome and the end result was awesome. And if you click on that soundbite for District 84, you will hear the superintendent speak to how special District 84 is. And there are a lot of moving parts. There are a lot of layers to the community map, not only gathering research, but then writing a caption and then adding that audio, that sound clip that spoke more to that asset and got to the soul of all of these different points on our map. So we wanted to make sure that we gave an overview of all of these points and why they're important, and then have somebody tell a story about why that place was important or meaningful to them. So the end result for Evian and her partner Sahid was about as good as it gets. So I know it was a struggle, but the end result was awesome.
Speaking of constructive criticism, it's just a curiosity question. Did anybody's family members, moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas, dislike your healthy version of their foods? As somebody who loves some unadulterated sugar and butter, I'm curious if any of you, when you healthified it, if mom was like, no, that's not it.
I see some heads nodding, and
And Deanna's hand is raised. Actually, Deanna, will you speak to that and explain? Thank you.
Yeah, I actually have a really strong connection to that, just because my recipe, it's actually supposed to be like how do I say this? It's supposed to have like a lot of butter, and the fact that I had to reduce it, and my mom was like, "No, you can't do that. Like, that's not how it's supposed to be." I was like, okay. So she wasn't a fan of it at all.
Oh, and so I try to make mine with the replacement recipe. My mom was like, nah, we're not gonna do that. So, and I was like, okay, if you say so. And she said, she also said, like, well, why are you doing that? And I said, oh, because I want to try out the new recipe. And she said, oh, you can do it later. Let's just make this and eat this now. And I said, oh, okay. I mean, I have no problem with it because I like eating it.
If you can find a way to make Oreo dumplings a health food, you will be a billionaire.
Is that what you tried to make healthy, Marcos? Oreo dumplings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Marcos, actually, how your replacement? Will you tell us what the replacement was and tell us how it tasted?
So it was supposed to be peanut butter. It tasted pretty good, you know. It's like it tasted. It's hard to explain, but basically like a peanut butter ball with crunchy Oreos inside.
Mr. Rossi, he replaced the cream cheese with peanut butter because of the protein, which is interesting. And so it still kind of tastes like a dessert.
Yeah, and plus I really like peanut butter, so it works out.
Thank you, Marcos. I saw Yami, you have your hand up. Go for it.
Okay, so my mom, she went along with it. It was my older sisters who didn't, because what I had was pozole, and it's basically already kind of healthy, but I had to like reduce some like salt and some minor stuff. And my sisters are the pickiest people out there, and they will tell when something is missing. So they noticed that a bunch of stuff was missing, and they didn't really want to eat it. So it was just this big pot of soup that me and my mom ate for the next 3 days.
Thank you for sharing, Yami. Thank you for all of the students who shared and gave us a little bit of the behind the scenes to the process. Before we close out and officially end our event, are there any other questions that we can answer for you?
Sarah has her hand up. Sarah, do you want to share something about your recipe as we close out?
Yeah, just a quick little thing. It wasn't about like, the healthy side of it, but when I was making dough and I had to clean the dishes, I clogged the the sink in the kitchen. I clogged it with the dough, and it was the most horrible thing. Just no, no. My mom got so mad. That's all I wanted to add.
Thank you. That's great, actually. It's a picture of what happens behind the scenes, right? We talked about what happens behind the scenes in poems, and now we can talk about what happens behind the scenes of the recipe. Everything requires some cleaning, literal and figurative, and that was a mess. Thank you, Sarah.
I don't see any other. What's that, Ms. Stolarsky? Sorry, I didn't see any other hands raised. I think that Sarah's comment is a good one to end on, because I think I love these exhibitions and these projects because it's truly an opportunity. We know our students are at home learning, but it is an opportunity for the parents and the families to see what their students are working on. And they had to go home and like Yami referenced and Sarah, many of the students made their recipes for their family and sat around the table and shared that experience. And many students asked their parents or siblings to listen to them recite their poem, or had to ask their parents or family members or neighbors for some more information about their communities while they did their research. And so that's, I think, one of the best parts of the CoLab exhibition experience, is that it's a shared experience. So thank you to all the people who are part of that process. I thought I saw Christian raise his hand. Christian, did you want to add one last thing before we say our thank yous and our goodbyes?
All right. I just want to let this out there. In the making of my recipe, I tried making it healthy. It worked out really well, but on the making of it, my mom was helping me. She was she was kind of freaking out because the way we do it, because I needed to add a little bit less of how much flour we need to do, in which the pupusas end up being a little deformed, but it tasted good. So.
Well, that's okay. Thank you for sharing, Christian. Sometimes that happens. Like Ms. Stolarsky said, sometimes behind the scenes it's a mess, and that's okay. Thank you again for everybody who joined us today. Students, fantastic job. We are so proud of the work that you have done all semester, and this is a great way to end our first unit. So thank you again to all of our guests and to our students, and especially our parents. This is the conclusion of round 1 of CoLab exhibition. Students, you are free to sign out and come back to the exhibition room at 9:40. To all of our invited guests, if you would like to stay behind, if there's anything else you'd like to say, we will stick around as long as you need.
This was great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Kappa.
Just making sure we come back at 9:40, right?
9:40 to this room.
Yep. Thanks, Marcos. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.